in this bitch.
Up in this bitch. Yeah, we are.
Up in this bitch. Yeah, sure.
Up in this bitch. I almost wonder if we're already primed. Yeah, it sounds like we're already primed.
Yeah, we are.
That's fun. Thanks, Facebook.
Amazon primed.
Oh.
I know I had to make it. I
Primed.
had to make that joke.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, sounds like we're already primed. Yeah, we are.
That's fun. Why is it
Thanks,
doing that?
Facebook.
I muted you. All right. I see you watching me, Dave. You're watching the show.
I am watching the show, and I'm watching you.
Now you're about to be blinded by the light.
Blinded by the light.
What do you think the lyrics are?
It's revved up like a deuce. But it kind of sounds like, revved up like a douche, no motor in the net. That's my best Bruce Springsteen.
It's not Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. It's Collective Soul.
That was Bruce Springsteen.
It's Collective Soul.
Blinded by the light? Bruce Springsteen, dog.
Oh, no, I'm thinking Heaven Let Your Light Shine Down.
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
Yeah. that's not Bruce Springsteen. What? Okay. I'm gonna prove this wrong.
I sang Blinded by the Light, and that's Bruce Springsteen.
Collective Soul.
That's Heaven Let Your Light Shine Down.
Shine.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Okay. Okay, I'm thinking Blinded by the Light. Okay. Bye. What is this? This is a fuck. It's going.
I just think you're wrong.
So, oh. Manfred Mann's Earth Band.
What?
It did say. I did see Springsteen somewhere. Bruce Springsteen, Blinded by the Light. The song.
Yeah.
Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a deuce, another runner in the night. Blinded
That's the
by the
actual part.
light,
Okay. That's not Bruce Springsteen.
Really must
Yeah, this is 1975. It's 1975.
Oh, well, sorry. I'm wrong.
So deep. Yeah, we are.
Do it.
yeah. We're only going deeper, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to the sexy episode of Podcastrophe.
Oh yeah. That's really all I can do.
Daddy.
That's Daddy. Daddy.
Gross.
All right, you ready to start this?
I am ready.
Cough. Everything's good. Everything looks good. All
Look
right.
good, feel good.
Let's do this. Recording now.
The following journey into comics. Journey into comics. Network production. Who's ready for huggies?
It's me.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Podcastrophe episode 115. I'm your host, Dick, and I got my co-host over here, Mr. Dave Linder. Welcome back.
What up, what up, what up?
How are you today?
Doing good. How you doing, pal?
I'm great.
I haven't seen you for a little while.
I know. That's why I'm great, because I'm seeing you.
Oh,
I can
shucks.
see you.
Oh,
You're back, and you're ready for huggies.
always ready for huggies, man.
I am too.
I'm born to hug. I need that on a jacket.
Born to hug. Made
And-
for love, born to hug.
Damn right. Like a Hell's Angels type leather jacket. Born to hug.
Hell yeah. No, how'd you like that intro?
That was good.
Hell yeah.
I needed some
Mr.
vocals.
Yeah, it'll get there. It'll get there. The vocals, I just wanted to throw that in there just to change it up, and eventually the vocals will be there. And I think the way I want to do it is every time someone's like, I see someone over here that I want, I'm gonna be like, hey, record this real quick, and I'm just gonna keep adding to the fucking gang vocals. Man. How fun would that be?
It's gonna be like just layers and layers of gang vocals.
So many layers. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Mr. Colby Terry took care of that for me.
Nice. I haven't seen that dude in a long time.
I know, it's been at least a year.
Same actually.
Yeah, he hasn't been here for a while. Normally he used to come like at least twice a year here. He'd come back to town twice a year.
Yeah.
He'd be back like around New Year's time or like holiday time, and then he'd always summer.
Right.
So,
yeah.
It's been a while. We miss him.
I miss him.
I really miss him. But yeah, I hit him up like last week to do this. I sent him like my little demo version that didn't have drums. I'm like, look, all I really need is drums. Give me some drums and I can do the rest. But if you want to do it, go for it.
Nice.
So he went ahead and did it. Sent me all the stems, so like I could mix it myself however I wanted to. He also sent me like a full version, which is the one I sent you.
Right. Yeah.
And I did some fuckering with it. Some fuckering. I mixed it. Made everything a little louder. Used a lot of compression. And he also sent me like the DIs for the guitars, so like I didn't actually use his like amp tone. I used one of mine, and I like it. I like the final result. It might be tweaked even more. Who knows? I might add a lead guitar in there.
Ooh shit!
I mean, who knows? The sky's the limit.
Well, if you need me to play bass, but it's just me going, boom, fuck, boom, hold on, fuck, hold on. I
might have just record that anyways. I'll give you a microphone and a bass, and it's just like, oh, fuck.
Hold on, fuck.
That'd be a blast.
I'll record anything with you, baby.
Let's see, we got Jack Rose watching. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Maybe he's watching. I don't know.
Could have clicked on an accident.
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like that's the only way people watch my show is they're accidentally watching it. Damn it.
It's like Mike. Mike does that, and we like
yeah.
Bruce with dudes are like Mike. He's like, well, shit. Like now I have to.
Oh, hey.
Hey guys.
And then we called him up.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
Yeah, I remember. Like it was. I can't remember. Nick was in the. Zibby was like, Nick. Hey Nick, and I'm like, I'm Dick, and he's like, no, he's in the chat, and Nick's like, I accidentally clicked this, but you're still here. That's the crazy thing. You're still here, and I appreciate it. I'm sorry, but I appreciate it.
We're sorry.
We deeply apologize. We deeply apologize. Because on the Facebook stream, we know we're already primed.
Amazon.
So Prime. This low voice I'm projecting is already even lower.
So.
Oh yeah.
All right.
We're idiots.
Yep.
Proud idiots. So what are some things? What's been going on, man? You went to California.
I did. I was gonna say that was. We talk about me for a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about you. I mean, you kind of already talked about it a little bit on Dungeons with Dudes last week during Expedition Actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Oh my god.
That's like the first episode of Dungeons with Dudes I fully listened to.
Really?
I think. There may have been another, but
the amount of times that Nick and me and Zach said actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf
in unison
is ridiculous.
In unison.
Because I listen to it too, because I try to listen to all the shows.
Yeah.
So I'd say, ooh, I sound dumb, because I know I sound dumb.
Hey,
and I'm like, oh my god.
I understand that.
But yes, I went to, was it last week? November 1st?
Yeah.
Me and my buddy Brian Martin. You know Brian Martin.
Yes, I know Brian Martin.
Buddy Brian Martin and our buddy Steve.
Still need to get Brian on the show.
Yeah.
I don't know Steve.
Steve's a good dude.
But I'm sure he needs to be on the show too.
Steve is on, it's not aired yet, but he is on the D list.
Oh.
Coming out. I think the next episode. Steve will be on there.
Nice.
But me, Brian Martin, Steve, and our buddy Nick from Indianapolis.
Okay.
Not Nick Maxon. Different Nick.
Gotcha.
We all went to visit our friends Matthew and Cassie in San Diego.
San Diego means whale vagina.
An old wooden ship. But it's a ton of fun. I've never been to California. I've never been that far out of the state. Or
The farthest
part of the States.
west I've been is Kansas City.
really,
So, and I can't remember if Kansas City is actually split in two. There's the Missouri side and there's the Kansas side.
right? Yeah.
And I can't remember if we went over to the Kansas side or not, but I've always been to definitely the Missouri side
Missouri
because
side.
we always went and saw the baseball games. The Kansas City, whatever fucking team that is.
The Kansas Cities.
The Kansas Cities. I can't remember the baseball team for the life of me. They actually won the World Series like a couple years after
Really?
I saw them there the last time.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And yeah, so they won the World Series, and so and the draw to that place was, one, it's a beautiful field, and two, seats are always super cheap no matter where in the stadium.
Really?
So, and there's no one ever there. So
That's why we're cheap.
yeah. Then they win the World Series, and yeah, that's over.
Yeah.
So carry on.
But yeah, that was the farthest I've been west. It was awesome. The only bad thing is my buddy Matt, who he used to live with me. We used to be roommates. Like we're pretty close.
Mhm.
Like 2 days before we left to go see him, he got in a motorcycle accident.
Oh
He got
shit!
hit by a truck.
Oh shit!
And it was like Wednesday night. My buddy calls me. He's like, "Hey, just want to let you know, Matt got hit by a truck." And like he led with that. I'm like,
Wow!
"Whoa! Like,
Wow!
is he good?" Like the way Steve kind of like worded it. I'm like, "Are we going through a different? Is this gonna be a different trip?" Like,
Oh,
God.
fuck!
but no, he was concussed at first. Ended up like it cleared up. Like he wasn't really concussed. Too bad. But his knee was destroyed.
Oh
Like
shit!
the doctor says it was like oatmeal.
Wow!
And
I hate when doctors describe shit like that. Like,
yeah.
it's like, man, fuck you. Like, it makes me think like the worst things ever.
Yeah.
And it's
That sounds pretty bad.
and you can't you sit there and think like, man, is the doctor saying this? So is it actually like that, or are they just saying that?
Or is it worse?
Or is it worse? Yeah. It's like oatmeal, so it's like mushy. Like that's fucked.
It's like good source of protein.
Like I can't. I try to wrap my head around the fucking physics of that. Like,
Yeah.
how hard would something have to pulverize another thing
To turn it into oatmeal. But apparently, like the doctor came in and said,
Is it brand name oatmeal?
"Yeah,
Or,
like,
like,
what kind of oatmeal we talking about? Quaker
Yeah.
oats?
does it have like those little dinosaur eggs in it?
Ooh, blueberries?
Throwback.
But the
Anyway.
doctor came in and told me, he's like, "I did a good job considering what you left me."
Oh,
Basically,
shit.
like he put his knee is back together with like 2 screws, and so luckily he wasn't actually concussed and could like hang out with us because he got out of the hospital like an hour after or before we landed Friday
Yeah.
night, and he was in a wheelchair most of the time, but he's doing pretty good.
Understandable.
He's doing pretty good. It was fun though. We Friday night we went out to a bar because that's what we want to do.
Naturally.
But it's funny is like so we get to San Diego, you know, like San Diego's known for like tacos and like
Yeah.
you know, fruity drinks and all that kind of stuff and avocados. We get there and the first thing they do is go to an Irish pub.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I get it.
Matt's like, "Let's go. I know this great place." We're like, "We're going to an Irish pub."
I mean, if I was in Chicago, I'd probably go to an Irish pub.
True.
San Diego. Can't say I would. Maybe I would definitely hit up some taco joints though, for sure.
Dude, I had some of the best tacos in my entire life there. There's a place right next to the hotel just called the Taco Stand.
Solid.
And you know it's good because you walk in there's this little old lady making tortillas by hand.
Oh
So
shit!
you know it's gonna be
yes.
fucking lit. And dear God, was it lit?
Did you just like live there
Pretty much.
the entire time?
We
Like,
ate there twice.
that's like your breakfast for the day.
the 4 days we were there twice.
That's it?
Yeah,
I'm
we
kinda
ate a shit ton of
disappointed.
food.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in that number. You got to pump that number up.
Pump those numbers up.
Next time you're there, man.
We went to the donut bar like 3 times.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I did see that. I saw pictures of that. That was nice.
It's so
Some
much food there, man. Like,
Big ass donuts.
Oh, dude, they were huge, like size of my hand, and I'm a big hand.
Yeah, they made you look small, dude.
Yeah, no, I ate that.
That's no small feat.
Damn right, I ate that donut.
You ate that thing. And I saw Brian ate his.
Brian bought 2 donuts that first time he went there.
Yeah.
First time we went there, he bought 2 donuts.
And did he made mistakes, didn't he?
He was feeling it, but he ate them.
Well, good for him, man. Good for him.
That was awesome food. Saturday, you'll dig this.
Yeah,
dig this.
let's hear this.
Saturday, there was a place called Seaport Village.
Seaport
it's
Village.
like right along the water, and like you can see like the big boats, like the Navy
Mhm.
ships were like across there. So it's cool to see those. But they had a beer fest along the water.
How was the beer?
Amazing.
What kind of beers did you have?
I had pretty much anything that I could get.
Yeah,
I had it all.
okay.
But it was over 100 breweries.
Did you get wasted?
That
Or did you
entire day I drank consistently, so I never got wasted.
Yeah.
I was just buzzed real heavily the entire
Yeah,
day.
that's kind of how it was for me at like the 450 corn maze
Really?
last year, because like I never got drunk, but I had a pretty consistent buzz.
Yep.
Thoroughly and throughout.
That entire day we did because we started breakfast with 3 bottles of champagne and orange
Oh,
juice
wow.
and 3 bottles of mimosas.
Man, that's a vacation right there.
Dude, I'm all about it. And the beer fest was awesome. There are 100 breweries all from San Diego, which is crazy.
Wow, all from San Diego.
Yeah. And I was wearing my 450 North shirt because I had to represent.
Did anybody recognize it?
Yeah. I went to I can't remember the name of the brewery. It was really good beer, but it was like this like metal looking brewery. So I'm like, I'll try that.
Yeah.
And get up there, and dude's like, "Oh, nice shirt." He's like, "My buddy just brought back a bunch of those from the corn maze."
Oh shit.
And I'm like, "Oh no shit." He's like, "Yeah, me and my boss like yesterday got to work early to try them all. They're fucking awesome." I'm like, "That's crazy."
That's funny because like when my family and I went to St. Louis this summer, and I think you were on that episode that we did with the Heavy Riff Brewing.
Yeah. I was on that.
For Brews with Dudes. No, I go in there and he's like, "Oh, you're from Indiana?" I was like, I was just at some beer festival or beer convention, where us brewers. It was just for the brewers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It wasn't for like the public. It was just brewers, getting together, drinking each other's beer and shit. And it was like I was talking to this guy. He represented 450 North. I was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Yeah, McKinley." I'm like, "Oh shit,
Yeah,
McKinley!"
I remember McKinley.
Fuck yeah. I was like, that dude is the coolest dude. He kept telling, and the guy was like, yeah, he kept telling me about how they have like this corn maze. I'm like, dude, get in on it,
It's
man.
great. Yeah, I've not been to it, but I think next year I'll go.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we couldn't make it this year, but money was tight.
We're
Money
still
was
drinking
tight.
beers right now, though.
Hell yeah, we
Cheers,
are.
buddy. Clinkety. But it was great. We went there. It was kind of funny because my buddy Matt is kind of like, I wouldn't say he's a drama queen, but he always likes attention.
Mhm.
And he was loving it being in a wheelchair. You could tell because everyone's like, "Oh, are you okay?" He was loving it.
Oh man.
And we were pushing him through this beer fest. And our buddy Steve, like, we park him somewhere, and we just like talking, like park him somewhere, and Steve's like, "Give me your glass." And he would come back, and just hand it to him, and then he would drink it. He'd go, "Hand me your glass." He did that like all day. And then that night, we went to a place called Coin Op, which was a arcade bar.
Okay.
They had a bunch of arcade games. Had skee ball. Played some skee ball.
Skee ball is that's a favorite of mine.
Yeah, I'm terrible at it. I
I'm
found
okay.
out I'm terrible at it.
I'm okay. Like I'm not gonna brag about my skills because they're not really there, but I'm okay.
There's not really a place to play skee ball around here.
Not really. Chuck E. Cheese.
I don't want to go there.
I don't blame you. I
No,
think
it's weird.
Dave and Buster's has it, but that's an indie.
Indy, yeah.
I haven't been there in a minute.
I haven't either. I think last time I went there was like my buddy's bachelor party.
Last time I went there, it was just some random day. A couple of my friends and I, we decided let's go to fucking Dave and Buster's.
Let's do it.
So we did. We get there, and like it always been advertised as like this adult Chuck E. Cheese. Like This is where the adults go to have fun. Get there. We're having fun for like 20 minutes. And out of nowhere, a busload of kids comes.
Yep.
We're like, what the shit is this?
I thought this was adults.
This is for adults. You kids, fuck off.
Go to Chuck E. Cheese.
God, and they ruined the whole thing.
That
Because
sucks.
again, it was like a field trip of kids, and it's like seriously, this is an adult fucking place. Like fuck off.
I mean, it's not technically adult, but like you can get.
It's advertised as
Yeah,
one. It's
yeah.
advertised as the place that fucking. Hey, you guys want to have fun without kids? This is
Go
the place.
here.
You know, I mean, I don't really care now because I have kids now. But
Right, yeah.
at the time, I was like, seriously, I came here with my bros.
To bro out and play some Donkey Kong.
I was like, fuck this. I'm going to Guitar Center. Just right across the street.
Yeah, yeah.
And then so I went over there, came back. Anyway, on with your story.
No, I like this.
I hijacked, but
No, we went to the place called Coin Op at Skee Ball. It was pretty sweet. And the best part is, like, Dave, check out the TVs. And on the TVs over the bar, there was Bloodsport,
wow.
Willow, and a super old Hulk Hogan WWF match.
Oh,
He's like, dude, this
shit.
he's like, every night it's always old wrestling and action movies. I'm like, I would live here.
Like, I could do my podcast here.
Yeah,
Like, I could just sit down and do commentary on whatever's on TV.
whatever's on TV. That place is fun.
Let me ask you this: did you have any good burgers while you're out there?
I didn't really eat too many burgers. I
man,
tend to not get burgers at restaurants that much, unless it's like a
Oh.
burger place.
That's what I do. Like I mean, as long as it's not like, see, if I try to avoid fast food burgers, but if it's a restaurant, especially if I'm out of town, I try to get a burger as much as I can.
We went to this really fancy restaurant on Monday before we left,
Mhm.
and they had a fancy burger there, but I'm like, I don't want to go to a fancy restaurant and get a fancy burger.
Yeah, I don't try. See, when I get burgers, like I don't get like these fancy like specialty burgers. I try to get like, let's see what
Just
this
a basic
burger.
with
Let's see
their-
what this fucking burger tastes like. How good is the meat? How well did they prepare
how
it? You
they
know.
cook just a regular ass
Yeah.
burger.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I just want to see like, all right, how'd they season it? How's this taste?
Right.
How's this feel?
It's got a good mouthfeel.
How's this gonna feel coming out later? Like, let's see what this
Painful.
is about.
But yeah, we didn't really have any burgers. Had a lot of Mexican food, a lot of tacos. Like I said, Monday we went to this big fancy restaurant. Well, it's super fancy for me, but
Mhm.
this is like middle class for most people probably. But they had a bunch of exotic meats and like fancy rich people food.
Yeah.
And I was scared because my buddy Steve, before we left, he's like, "We're going to this restaurant." He's like, "So everyone wear suits. We're dressing up." And so I brought a suit, and I was terrified because I'm like, "This is going to cost me so much." But I didn't realize Steve booked this trip around his birthday. We didn't know it was his birthday. He kept it kind of secret because he wanted to spend it with us.
Awesome.
And it was that night was his fancy dinner party, and he's like, "I wanted to spend it all with you guys."
Hell
And
yeah.
He took care of the bill, and it's just like, "Oh my god, dude, this is
What
your
a-
birthday. Why are you?"
What a fucking guy.
He's an awesome dude. He's a really good dude.
What day was this?
Monday, November
Okay.
4th.
Wow, so that's the day before my birthday.
Oh shit!
Wish I had that idea.
To buy me a meal.
I'd do it.
I'd do it.
I'd do it.
But so the craziest story, I didn't tell this online over the internet. So that Saturday night, because first in the morning we went to this bar, where we did like 3 bottles of champagne.
Yes.
It was called Taste and Thirst,
Taste
and it
and
was
thirst.
super cool. It was this little bar, and everything was like super cheap. Well, California cheap.
Yeah.
There's this like we went in there because there's no one in there, and they said breakfast. Big sign says breakfast because we were on our own because they were still sleeping. The friends we came to see, and we went in there, and it's like there was no one in there. It was this super cute girl behind the bar. We're like, let's go there. So we hung out there. It turns out that's like one of Matt and Cassie's favorite places. And the girl, we started talking to her because we're social folks.
Yes.
We're mingling with the locals.
Yes.
Turns out she's the owner.
Oh.
But we didn't realize that till we went back that night. We didn't realize she was the owner because we were talking to her. She's like, oh yeah, I'm the boss. So I just thought, oh yeah, she just she runs this place.
She's a badass.
She's a badass.
Right on.
But we were sitting there talking to our server in the evening. We went there at like probably 11 o'clock. It was just me, Steve, and Matt and Cassie. Brian went back to the hotel. So did Nick. And the server's like, it's like, oh no, that's the boss. Like she owns the place. I'm like,
oh shit.
But we're sitting there hanging out, having our drinks. I drank a lot of mixed drinks that weekend. It was mixed drink day. Mixed drink day. But we're sitting there hanging out outside in the patio. All of a sudden, this dude starts running by. I hear him just go, "Motherfucker, I'll fucking kill you!" And this dude emerges, who is like probably as tall as me, maybe even taller, 350 plus, like this
big
monster
dude.
of a man,
Big guy,
like fucking neck tattoos and shaved head and fucking like leather like vest jacket. And I'm like, oh my god. And Matt, who likes to antagonize, goes, kick his ass, kick his. Oh, he has a knife. And this dude walking by had a fucking knife in his hand and walks by. We're like, oh shit. So we're like going back talking. A couple minutes later, the dude comes walking back to us, knife in hand still.
Jesus.
And it's like, if you see a motherfucker in a blue blazer, you let me know. We're like, yeah, dude. The whole time he's waving this knife around.
Holy shit.
We're like, yeah, man, totally. He's like, you knocked over my bike. We're like, oh shit. And
guessing a motorcycle.
Yeah.
I'm guessing a motorcycle.
Not like his tricycle.
That motherfucker.
But
that was
my sister's bike. I borrowed it.
That was my fucking Schwinn.
but Matt actually goes, oh fuck yeah, fuck that dude. And like he's like, yeah, motherfucker just knocked over my goddamn bike, blah blah. And he's still holding this knife, waving it around. And he's like, I'm gonna cut that motherfucker's heart out.
God
He's
damn.
like, I'm gonna cut his fucking heart out and eat it. And we're like, oh, okay, man. And eventually he left. We're all like,
California's fucking weird.
yeah. Steve and I are like, holy shit. And then probably like 15, 20 minutes later, an ambulance drives by, and Steve goes, there is a dude in there without a heart. like, there's a dude in a blue blazer without a heart in there. It was terrifying.
Yeah, it fucking sounds
But
like
the whole time he's talking to us, he's just brandishing a knife. And he has it like tucked in so no one sees it. But he's just like...
Did you feel threatened yourself?
Not really, because he wasn't like stabbing me with it.
Well,
but
no.
I was already thinking, I'm like, all right, how am I gonna fuck up this dude if I have to?
Like, I'm so glad you have that instinct, like to like protect. I guess that's.
I mean, it probably wouldn't have worked. He was a big dude. I'm like, what have I got to do? Like, there's a chair behind me no one's using. I guess I could use that. But yeah, that was a crazy. That was crazy. But it's just so funny. Like, it timed it perfectly. That ambulance comes driving by, and Steve's like, "There's a dude with a blue blazer and his heart missing in there."
Yes. God damn.
And like, what surprised me the most about California is how nice people are.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Because I thought, like, going in there, maybe it's just me being an Indiana boy, where I'm like, oh, I heard all them big city folk are mean.
No, that's New York.
That's New York, yeah. City folk in New York. But we get there, and everyone's super nice. Like,
Yeah.
they legit, like, I had a bunch of people like, oh, how are you? And not like a passing,
Hey.
how's it going? But, yeah, people were super nice there.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That that's a common thing I've heard.
It's good times. Except for crazy knife motorcycle guy.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Went to the zoo.
Yeah, the San Diego Zoo.
San Diego Zoo.
Nice.
I got in for free.
SeaWorld's there too, isn't it?
No.
Wait, is that San Francisco?
I think San Francisco is SeaWorld.
I'm pretty sure SeaWorld's in San Diego.
I don't think
I know there's definitely a zoo. It's a famous zoo.
It's the biggest zoo in the country.
Okay, that makes sense then.
It's massive. We were there for like probably 3 or 4 hours and didn't see all of it.
Wow.
Matt's like, the other side there's a polar bear. I'm like, let's go see the polar bear. But we never got a chance to see the polar bear.
Yeah, we went to the St. Louis Zoo, and it was fucking
That's
huge
pretty big
too.
too, isn't it?
And we definitely spent more than 3 or 4 hours. We probably spent about 4 or 5 hours. Now I'm thinking about it, but we also have kids and take a little more time on certain things. And
We're pushing a 200-pound man in a wheelchair. So.
yeah, that's probably the equivalent of a 4 and 5 or 5 and 6 year old.
Ish. I was more the 5 and 6 year old because every monkey I would see, I'm like, we're watching these fucking monkeys.
Any of them masturbate?
No
dicks in hands.
No dicks in hands.
Any flying feces?
No flying feces either.
Man, those are some good monkeys.
Yeah, the best part, there was these orangutans, and there was a lady there, like a volunteer. She was telling about the orangutans.
Yeah.
And there was one sitting there. She said she was a toddler. She was 6 years old. And she was sitting there. They had these like green rubber balls to play with, and it was like throwing it in the air and catching it. And she was like doing handstands, like hamming it up for the crowd. And she's like, if you look, that's the mother. And up in the tree there was like the mom, and she had a bag over her head, like a sack over her head, and she was like passed out.
It's like, leave me the fuck alone.
And then the other she's like, that's the dad over there.
This is mommy time.
This is mommy time. And the dad had the like green ball as well, and he was trying to climb up to the top of the tree. There's like they had a rope all the way up there, and he was being so careful. He had the ball like tucked into his shoulder.
Yeah.
And he was very carefully climbing. It would the ball start to slip. He'd stop and he'd adjust. I sat there and watched him for like 15 minutes, and it took him like a couple minutes to get up to that tree. As soon as he got to the tree, the little kid monkey just starts running up there and ran up and took his ball. Like it's just like parenting.
Yeah, I mean we come from apes, so
Yep.
I totally get it. Fun fact: do you know why? You never notice when someone yawns, you yawn too,
Yeah.
or you see someone else yawn. Yeah, it's you know why we do that?
Because we're all tired because we have to live in
Because
an
we're
oppressive
all
government.
tired. Life sucks.
Because life
No.
sucks.
It's a primate thing.
Really?
We are social creatures, and we crave being accepted, socially accepted. As we crave being part of the group. So when it's a subconscious thing that we do to fit in. It's crazy.
I didn't know that. Things you learn on Podcaster.
Oh yeah.
My snake made me yawn the other day.
Nice.
I was hanging out with it and it yawned, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna yawn.
You're like, yeah, me too, snake. Me too. Not hashtag me too, but me
No.
too.
It's a different snake.
This just in, folks. Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself.
Did not.
Did you see that Christmas sweater I posted?
Yes, I saw that.
I kind of want like all of us to get one.
I love it. I love that meme is like,
Yeah, not to mention it actually gained some traction.
Yeah.
And like there was a second examination. It was like, yeah, shit looks like he got fucking murdered.
we all know that.
Like everything is pointing to strangulation, not suicide.
Yeah.
And so it's like everybody's just like, fucking told you, we knew it, we fucking knew it.
Well, yeah. He's got dirt on billionaires diddling kids. Of course he's
over 1,000 of them.
Yeah. Maybe they should all get suicided.
Did you watch that? Have you seen that video of JP Sears? He's the guy that did one of his big videos was if meat eaters talked if they talked like vegetarians.
Oh, I know. I've seen that video.
He did one yesterday. He posted it yesterday. It's like it's a 7-minute video about like how Jeffrey Epstein did commit suicide. He wasn't murdered, and it's total satire. It is gold.
That sounds awesome.
I'll see if I can pull that up here. It's too good. I mean, especially with like the way he talks, like it's so funny. Where'd it go?
You're funny.
I know I posted it. Well, this is kind of lame how we're just sitting here looking
I
at
was
this.
looking at your screen.
It's gone. I don't see it.
You take it down. Did he get suicided?
Oh, there it is. found it.
Unsealed court documents, broken bones in his neck. Prison guards would want to check security who would have been exposed. Address book. 1,000 names in the address book. Still sealed. Think Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself? Well, you're wrong. He killed himself, people, and that's a fact. It's what we're told to believe, so you should believe it. New York State officials ruled his death a suicide by hanging. Now, I'll prove to you why we can definitely trust them, but first consider this. There's a strong precedence in history of powerful people killing themselves when even more powerful people have their agendas threatened, like when JFK killed himself. And then Lee Harvey Oswald, who didn't kill JFK, killed himself. And Martin Luther King killed himself. And here's a sketch of when President Lincoln committed suicide. Did powerful people who stood to lose all their money, status, and power, as well as be locked in prison for the rest of their lives, want Epstein dead? Absolutely not. On the contrary, Epstein was their only hope to relieve their guilty consciences. Every single one of these nearly 1,000 powerful people would have been terribly disappointed to find out Epstein killed himself. I'd imagine they sent their sincerest condolences to his family. Even if they wanted him dead, which wouldn't make any sense, he was in prison. There's no way they could have gotten to him to kill him. Epstein was in prison surrounded by murderers. It's not like they could just pay a murderer to murder someone, because I don't think murderers would do something like that. What some people think is odd is that court documents were unsealed that gave details about some of his crimes involving having underage girls provide sex to former New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson, U.S. Senator George Mitchell, and Prince Andrew. And then the very next day, Epstein killed himself. 100% by himself. Dead. At the time of his death, there was an ongoing investigation to make thousands of other pages of documents public involving an address book that allegedly involved over 1,000 other names of people involved in his pedophile ring. Epstein just so happened to conveniently choose to kill himself while all this was going on? Now, admittedly, it looks a little fishy with all the motive that 1,000 powerful people would have, but there's a perfectly good explanation for all of this. Mercury was in retrograde. Let's move on. One of the people that definitely wouldn't be named in the still sealed address book is Bill Clinton, who flew on Epstein's jet 26 times with him. I suspect old BC had to go to grief counseling when he found out Epstein took his own life. Willie Clinton has said he knows nothing of the terrible crimes Epstein was involved with. I believe him. I also believe him when he says,
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
And when Clinton admitted he lied,
Indeed, I did have a relationship with Miss Lewinsky that was not appropriate.
I didn't believe him. I still don't. I think the only time he lied is when he admitted to lying. He was clearly self-sacrificing in the most altruistic way possible to better serve the American people by lying about lying. And given that he has a precedence for lying, I think it's a pretty safe bet that that's the only time he lied. And I think we all know Clinton was a president with very little interest in sex, so it doesn't add up that he'd have any association with Epstein or anything to gain with his death. So for the record, the Clinton body count remains at 50, not 51. To the conspirators, why would the prison staff allow murder? They definitely wouldn't. Consider the fact that the whole prison system is run in a for-profit way that exploits incarceration rather than providing rehabilitation in order to improve their bottom line, and therefore the whole prison system is kind of criminal human trafficking in and of itself. So I'm sure the fine folks that run the corrupt prison system wouldn't be open to corruption in the form of enormous payoffs by some of the most powerful people in the world in order to eliminate the one man, Epstein, who could strip them of all their power and freedom if he snitched because of In God We Trust, the Pledge of Allegiance, and other things that give us blind faith and authority outside of ourselves. Back to the trustworthy New York officials that ruled Epstein's death suicide by hanging. Now, what makes their job complex is Epstein was supposed to be checked on by guards every 30 minutes. But this wasn't happening for some reason. Probably because the prison guards are so spiritually advanced that they don't believe in time. And there were 2 security cameras outside of Epstein's cell. But oddly enough, both cameras were somehow broken. What are the odds? But remember, Mercury was in retrograde, so apparently the odds were 100%. And that, of course, explains the irregularities. So if the guards were doing their job and the cameras weren't broken, then the New York Examiner would have eyewitness proof and video evidence that Epstein definitely killed himself, and there would be no controversy. But to make matters worse, Epstein's brother hired a second examiner to do another autopsy, and they found broken bones in his neck that are much more consistent with someone being strangled to death rather than hanging themselves. What? It's very inconvenient that his brother would do this. First, there is no need to get a second opinion in a very suspicious, high-profile death of someone who could ruin the lives and reputation of 1,000 of the world's most powerful people, some of which have probably given money to New York State officials. Second, you can trust New York State officials when they say it's a suicide by hanging, because there's no reason why you can't trust them. You know what it is? Epstein's brother is conspiring to make his death look like a murder instead of a suicide, because he doesn't want a suicide to bring shame to the family. Because killing himself's obviously the most shameful thing Epstein's ever done, and his brother doesn't want people to know about it so it doesn't ruin the great reputation that the family name has. And that proves we can trust the New York medical examiners when they say Epstein killed himself. Epstein case is closed. Go back to sleep. Any other questions? Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications.
Yeah, wow.
That's fantastic.
I fucking love JP Sears. He's so funny. He's so incredibly funny.
Right.
Like
That was awesome.
I've kept up with him over the. I actually bought his book. How to be. I think it's like How to Be Ultra Spiritual, or something like that. It's like an extra step to being spiritual. It's complete satire and it's fucking hilarious.
Really?
He actually tours around. And he's like a he's like a public speaker / stand-up comedian.
Okay.
All in one. So he does both at the same time. Like he is being like legit. I've seen some of his like seminars, I guess, if you want to call them that. And like he's being funny, but at the same time he's talking some real shit.
Right.
And it's actually really cool, like the way he approaches. Like he doesn't even talk about being spiritual. He just talks about being a better person and how to improve your life. And it's actually like when he's being serious, it's actually pretty cool. But on top of that, he's just hysterically funny.
But Epstein killed him.
Epstein killed himself. Yeah.
God damn it.
So I made a post, I think yesterday. I think because I was out driving at 4 in the morning, or a little closer to 5 in the morning.
Damn.
In this snowpocalyptic hellscape.
I love how people, as soon as the first snow hits, they just forget how to drive.
Yeah, I made my post said, and I'm sure you saw. You know what post I'm talking about.
Yeah.
People who live in Indiana are the worst people, are the worst at living in Indiana. Whatever. I said something along those fucking lines. I said, I don't even remember what I fucking said. God damn it. But I'm like, it snows every year. This doesn't change.
It's the same.
It's
it
the
happens
same
all the time.
every year. Why are you so bad at this?
It's just, I swear, man, the very first snow, people forget how to drive. Like,
Yeah.
oh, what do I do? There's white
Yeah.
stuff. What do I do?
Oh no, drive 30 miles an hour. Yeah, so at 4:30 in the morning, I have to leave, take the kids to Rossville, which is about a 15-20 minute drive from
Right.
here. I typically get to their babysitter about 4:55, and then I turn around and head back to SIA, and I'm usually in the parking lot around 5:18, 5:20.
All right.
I ended up, so the roads were not terrible. They weren't the worst. Like, if it was just me on the road, I could have fucking I could have got to babysitter same time as always.
Time's up, yeah.
But I had someone in front of me going 20 under the speed limit.
Oh my god.
It put me about 10 minutes behind. On top of that, I'm guessing my my wiper fluid lines, they're frozen or something because they're still not going.
Really?
I guess it hasn't warmed up enough at all.
It's still pretty fucking cold.
Yeah. So those lines are still frozen, but they were frozen, and so I was trying to wipe away some shit, and it ended up smearing all over my windshield.
I hate
so
that.
it's fucking 4:45 in the morning. I'm going down the highway. I got fucking a whole line of cars coming towards me, and a smeared windshield. Like, I can't see at all. I am just pissed.
Yeah, I hate that.
I'm going slow for one. I am running super far behind, and I can't see. So my plan when I get to Rossville after I drop the kids off is stop at a gas station, wipe that shit off. I go to the first gas station. There's 2 gas stations in Rossville.
Right.
I guess 3, but 2 open all the time. I go to the first gas station, Marathon. This isn't a comment on like the brand Marathon or the other brand that I'm about to mention. This is just what's there. I'm adding detail to story. Because I planned on, pumping a little gas, wiping off my windshield, cleaning it off, They didn't have their fucking squeegees and shit out. They didn't have them out. Which, okay, it's below freezing. They probably didn't want the shit to freeze. Smart on them. Okay. Go across the street to BP. They didn't have their shit out either. I've now wasted about 5 minutes that I could have been
trying to clean your windshield.
Trying to clean my windshield that I can't clean. That's 5 minutes I could have been on the road heading to work.
Right.
So I say fuck it. I try to scrape off what I can, what's left on my windshield, and I hand wipe what I can.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta do that.
And luckily, that cleared it enough. And then I headed to work. After work, shit's still frozen, and now the shit's smeared because it's melted and gone down.
Yep.
And I'm like, God damn.
Gotta love it.
The struggle, man.
Struggle's there.
It hasn't been like this bad this early in about 5 years.
It's supposed to be like in the 50s this weekend.
Good.
That's what I heard.
Maybe my fucking windshield wiper line will fucking unfreeze, thaw out. Words. Yeah, it's been about 5 years, and like the last time it was like this early, it was literally the first snow of the year was the day I got hired full time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that day was like, fuck this, I'm going to Bob Rorman, I'm getting a Subaru today, because that was when I was eligible for the program. Is the day I got hired. So it's like, fuck this, I'm not waiting. Like, if it's gonna be like this all winter. Sure enough, it wasn't like that again until like New Year's.
Well, yeah.
Like, of course.
That's how it works.
Cool. So I could have waited, because my car was just paid off. I could have been saving up money.
Should have.
I should have. But I didn't want to wait. I was impatient.
I
was impatient, and I didn't want to deal with the shitty weather. The shitty weather subsided.
I got back from vacation Tuesday, and then I worked on Friday, and I got up Friday, and it was 19 degrees after coming back from 70 degrees. I'm like, I fucking hate this. Why? Why did I come back?
Yup.
Yeah. I'm sitting there freezing my ass off. I mean, granted, I have a 3-minute drive to get to work, but
yeah, I was very tempted. So you got back Tuesday, and we do the show on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
And I was very tempted to be like, hey, want to come over and do a show? But I'm like, nah, let's give him a break, man.
Yeah,
let him have a day of rest,
I rested.
Good. Happy for you.
I watched a bunch of kung fu movies in my basement.
Yeah.
Because I'm big into that. Ate some dinner with Mike.
Did you work Friday night? Because I didn't see you at the
yes.
at the Vital.
I wanted to go to the
Vital
Vital Remains. I wanted to go to that show.
That was a good show.
When I had to work.
It
Was it a good show?
It was a good
Good.
show. I didn't stay for all of Vital Remains, but it was a good show.
I wanted to go, but like I work at Spot on Fridays, and then this Friday it's just me.
Nick was in rare form that night.
Oh God.
He was in the mode of, I'm pretty sure he was feeling pretty good, and he was in I'm gonna yell at everything mode. I'm gonna hear something from across the room, and I'm gonna reply to it from across the room. Oh, the band just said something. I'm gonna say something back.
I remember that, Nick. I know that, Nick.
Oh yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I get there and he calls me out. As soon as he realizes I'm there, he's like, "Oh my God, it's Dick at a music show, at a fucking metal show, at one of my shows." Because it's been a minute since I've really been out to the shows.
Right.
I've been trying to save money, and then of course there's always the weekends that there's shows, and we have the kids. We can't get a babysitter.
I miss some shows too, especially on Fridays, and I hate it.
So he called me out on that, and I'm like, I understand, but at the same time, it's like, got to do what you got to do, man.
Yeah.
It's not like I haven't wanted to come out. So
I notice Nick kind of does that sometimes.
Yeah,
It's like, I mean, he doesn't necessarily do it to me, but I can tell.
Yeah,
And there's times where I just can't make
we
it.
love him though. We love him.
Hell yeah.
He does so much for this community. He
Yeah,
does
he
so
does.
much for this network.
Yes.
Big shout out to Nick Maxon with Dungeons with Dudes and Brews with Dudes.
He was on the very first episode of the D List.
Was he?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
This
And I
Friday, you'll see the review.
I was gonna say I even nixed it, and I didn't know that.
Didn't even know what?
Wait, I thought it was just you and Tyler. You, Tyler, and your
No, that's
co-host.
the episode 2 that we're nixing.
You're nixing.
Nixing. The first
Huh.
episode was with Nick. That was the movie The Iron Master.
Okay. I don't think I messed with that. Oh yeah, that's right. Nate messed with that.
Yeah.
I did episode 2.
Which all that work you did, throw it in the garbage.
Doesn't mean shit. Gotcha. Cool.
No, John and I are still trying to get our bearings and figuring out.
No,
what
you know,
to do
sometimes
stuff and-
when you have like a very niche podcast like that, it is gonna take some time to get your bearings, get your flow, get comfortable with it.
And John and I were talking because the very first review we did, the one coming up this Friday, the entire review is the movie, and then episode 2 and 3 we talk about like movies we've seen, and then we touch on that movie a little bit. Like, so it's not just it's more. It feels a lot better than what.
Okay.
The first one's kind of like just like boom, this entire movie.
Yeah. So like the way you wanted to do it. So you want to do like a watch along, kind of like a mystery science theater.
Yeah.
Like where the person listening has to also watch with you, right?
Correct.
Otherwise, it doesn't make sense.
Which is it's kind of hard because we're trying to find weird, obscure stuff.
Yeah,
but
and
that's
those
still
are hard
available
find.
to people.
Okay.
The one movie that this episode 2 that we did, I don't think it's online. My buddy just found a random copy of it, so we think it's too obscure.
So like yeah, that is something hard to find. I mean, a lot of people that do that kind of stuff, they just put the thing online somewhere and be like, hey, here it is.
Yeah.
If you want to watch it with this, there you go. My suggestion was I just do the reviews. I would just do the reviews only and throw the other as like a bonus thing.
That's kind of weird, but I kind of like this fun because like last Friday it was the review, it was the watch along, which I listened to, and I still thought it was funny. I mean, I was there, so it's a little different, but I still thought it was good. And then this Friday will be the review of that movie. But I kind of like the watch-alongs. But I think John and I we're preparing a little bit more.
Okay.
I think we're gonna have to pre-watch the movie, not to spoil some of the magic.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that's been suggested to me too. Is like watch the movie like not together, but just watch it, take some notes, whatever.
So you have stuff to talk about.
Any jokes you might have, and just pop them in.
I think that's what we're gonna do because it'll. It's still not. I don't want it to be like staged,
Yeah, I've watched some really funny like D-list style movies. So have you heard of Achievement Hunter
Yes.
through Rooster Teeth?
Yeah.
They had a thing called theater mode, where they all just sat in front of a green screen and they just watched shitty movies.
Okay, that sounds awesome.
And that's how I watched Thanksgiving 3. It was either 2 or 3. I watched Thanksgiving 2 or 3 on that, and man,
Thanksgiving's bad.
I know it's just so funny watching it. I mean, that's for YouTube, so it's a little better digested that way. I think the watch alongs are.
Then there's Ginger Dead Man. That's not one of those. Ever seen Ginger Dead Man?
I have not.
Or Ginger Dead Man 2, Saturday Night Cleaver.
Saturday Night Cleaver.
They're all terrible. Don't watch them.
I don't plan on. I'm not much for campy movies.
I love them.
Or unaware movies.
I've been getting on. I'm pretty sure I've taught this on the show maybe several times, but I'm super into like late 70s, early 80s kung fu.
Yeah.
And there's a film company called Shaw Brothers that Mike and I have been super into.
Okay.
It's just all kung fu stuff, and I went to Disc Replay and just bought a stack of DVDs, like mainly for the show, mainly for me. And there was one called The Lizard, which was a Shaw Brothers movie, and I didn't know what it was. I'm like, ooh, Shaw Brothers, I need that. And it was basically Robin Hood, like the Robin Hood story, but it had kung fu.
Nice.
And the best part was there's a bunch of trailers at the beginning of it, and it's all just kung fu movies that Mike and I were like making notes, like, yep, watching that, and half of them are just like one was like a Star Wars esque, like futuristic, like monster like movie with kung fu. And I'm like,
with kung fu.
It's on Amazon Prime, so I might be watching that.
Okay.
But it's just like all these situations add kung fu.
Hell yeah.
I'm into that.
I'm not really into like the style of movies. I like. I'm not gonna go say good movies. I guess regular movies.
Regular movies.
Again, the non-campy stuff. I'll watch that stuff. I mean, if it's something that I'm doing with friends or whatever, I'll do it, and it's something we can sit and joke around about.
I need to like just force people, because we won't do it on the show because it's too overdone. But I just want to force my friends to watch Miami Connection.
Yeah.
I just need to like be like, hey, everyone, come over. We're gonna watch Miami Connection, and you're gonna love it.
Yeah. Are you gonna come to any of the Star Wars viewings at North End Pub?
Oh, is that coming up?
We're watching, I think, 3 and Solo. This coming Sunday.
This Sunday? Ooh,
yeah, it's like every other Sunday, and then a couple Thursdays, all leading up to episode 9.
Ooh, I would like to. My only problem is on Sundays right now we have random band practice.
That's usually at like 4 o'clock. I don't know what time you do it. But...
6 o'clock in Kokomo.
Okay.
So I have to leave at like 5.
So you'd be there for like an hour.
An hour, yeah. I'd love to though. I need to catch up on the Star Wars, which now I can thanks to Disney Plus.
Yeah, it came out yesterday.
Yeah.
If we're gonna date this, it came out yesterday.
Yeah.
I experienced one technical issue.
Really?
Yeah, it was super minor, and to be honest, I think it's just a Hulu thing. I think they're going off of Hulu's platform, if I'm not mistaken. And it's this thing where it's easily fixed. Like you start watching, and oh shit, the audio's off. They're not talking with the audio tracks, not with the
off.
video.
I mean, that happens on streams. Anyways.
All you gotta do, back out, push play again, and there it goes. It's good.
Synced up.
So my TV, it's a smart TV. I got one of them smart TVs.
Them Smartmans? Smartman TVs?
And we turned the TV, or Miranda turned the TV on, and I guess it just like, pow! We already downloaded Disney Plus for you.
Really?
Like, it's being pushed.
Wow.
Damn.
And
I had already pre-ordered it, so I just had to log in. Yeah, I got it for like $4.99.
I should have did that.
I didn't get the Hulu ESPN Plus deal, which is whatever. I don't really need that.
I ended up doing that because I got a new debit card, so my Hulu ran out.
Okay.
And so I don't really care for ESPN, but I'm like, Hulu and Disney, $12. That saved me some money still.
There you go.
And I'm trying to hook up ESPN Plus for my grandparents. They like watching football.
There you go.
So
I don't know how many devices Disney Plus can be signed onto, but
4.
Wow.
Because I looked it up because I
That's
ended
good.
I ended up giving my password to Mike.
Okay.
Mike's a super Star Wars guy.
Yeah, I've been
So,
tempted to like. There's
4 simultaneously, and up to 7 people, up to 7
Wow.
profiles.
There's a few people on our network that are like, yeah, we don't really feel like spending the money on it right now. I'm just tempted to be like, here's my fucking here's my login and password. Just I want you to be able to watch this with me. This being The Mandalorian,
Which I watched last night because
Same.
I figured that we would talk about it a little bit on the show. So
we started like I finally got it logged in and started looking through some of the stuff, and Miranda's wanting to keep looking and maybe watch some things, and I'm like, oh, Mandalorian. I didn't even keep looking. I found it and I'm like, go.
See, I didn't pre-order anything because I was still on the fence. I'm like, well, I really use this. And then I saw people coming on. I was like, oh, I do love Star Wars.
I mean, just for the fact alone that it has every Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
I think except for The Last Jedi. That's not on there yet because it's still on Netflix.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's a few movies. You saw that so Tyler, he pops in the chat, our network chat. I'm mildly pissed off at Disney Plus, which is like really putting it lightly for Tyler.
Yeah.
Like if he is not like full irate or completely passive, like it's weird. Like
it's true.
He's either 100% or he doesn't give a shit and he's happy. No, he is like somewhere in the middle at mildly pissed. It's like, whoa, that's.
I saw that. Yeah.
Are you okay, Tyler? And I was like, what? Did you experience the technical issues that other people? Because apparently there was a lot of people waiting.
There's a lot of it,
and I experienced nothing because I got it at the tail end of the day. But everybody else, I mean, it's understandable. It's a brand new service. I figured
that. Like I was at work and I was like, do I really want this? And I was pooping on the clock.
3.3 million people downloaded it.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
So it's a brand new service, and you have 3.3 million people using it,
trying to log on all at the same time.
Yeah, shit's not gonna work.
Yeah,
shit's not gonna work.
I had a little bit of problem. Like I downloaded it on my phone just to see what there was. I don't really plan on watching it on my phone, or just see what there was. Like while I was like on break from work, and I couldn't connect a couple of times. I had to like log out, log out.
Yeah.
That's one issue.
So Tyler says, I'm mildly pissed. All right, you have technical issues? No. Oh. Well, they don't have Deadpool, Logan, Alien, Predator, any of those fucking movies. And I'm like, Disney Plus. Like, and
a buddy at work was saying they're not going to put any R-rated
movies
on
there. They're not. I found that out today, but I kind of just assumed that anyways. I don't know.
Eventually, they probably could.
They're gonna throw those on Hulu.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna throw those on Hulu.
I mean, I have all them on DVD.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know why you expected this to be on a Disney, like straight Disney branded thing. Disney said they will not have anything above PG-13.
Right.
And again, I messaged back and I'm like, I mean, it's very possible that all of those are still on HBO because I know a lot of those were on HBO.
Yeah.
So they're probably just waiting on that contract or license to wear out, which I found out later as I was scrolling through stuff. Miranda and I were looking for stuff to watch. We decided we were going to watch Christopher Robin because I haven't seen that yet.
Okay.
That's the Winnie the Pooh movie with Ewan McGregor.
Oh, okay, all right.
Where he's like an older Christopher Robin. I click on it. And all of a sudden, a trailer starts playing. I'm like, why am I watching a trailer for a movie I'm going to watch? Back out. This movie's not available until November 2020, I think is what it said, due to like licensing
issues. Yeah.
Like, okay, well, let's go watch Maleficent. That was the other movie. Same thing. October 2020. We're like, what the fuck? So like, one, it's kind of like like I love and hate that they have it like as a selectable option. I love it because it's like, okay, it's showing that it is gonna
It's
be
there. They have the.
they have it.
means.
It's gonna be there. And it has a little message saying this is when it's gonna be here. Given it's a fucking year from now, that's weird. I hate it because it's like, why have it here if it's not here?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I haven't got a chance to go through it a whole lot yet, but I was at work.
There's
We're
some
sitting
good
at
stuff.
lunch. We're sitting at lunch, and I was going through it. And my buddy John was going, "Do they have this? Do they have this?"
There's some solid stuff. There's some
Yeah.
solid stuff there.
Dude, the weirdest thing to me, Willow.
Yeah.
Willow's on there.
Well,
Like, Willow.
it's Lucasfilm, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know. I didn't realize it was Lucasfilm. But I'm gonna watch some Willow.
I've never seen Willow.
I saw it as a child a long time
Yeah,
ago.
I've never seen it.
Warwick Davis.
Yeah.
Swords.
Yeah.
Magic. Sign me up.
What I want to know is Ewok convention.
Ewok convention.
Yeah, there's 2 Ewok movies.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 Ewok movies, and I wonder if those are on there or gonna be on there.
What about the Christmas special?
Oh God.
They're trying to bury that. I doubt that'll be on there.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be there.
Have you seen it?
I have seen
So
it.
have I.
I've seen it on the YouTubes.
Me too.
I was in
It's
high
bad.
school. I was a young, impressionable young man.
Mike and I watched it like a couple years ago. It's bad.
My friend Austin, he worked for BuzzFeed when he lived in New York. They actually did a video special where people reacted to the Star Wars Christmas special.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like right around the time Last Jedi came out, so they were doing all kinds of Star Wars stuff. And he was just like an intern type person there.
Oh wow, yeah.
Like he was very like low, not really anything, or as far as I know. But like they're like, hey, do you want to be in this video? So he's got a BuzzFeed video of himself.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's-
So
Yeah, Mike and I watched it probably 2 or 3 years ago. Well, the only thing that's like kind of cool
Rough.
about it is like there's a cartoon section.
the Boba Fett.
And it's
cartoon.
Boba Fett. That was the
Yeah.
first Boba Fett.
Yeah, that was because that came out before Empire, right?
Yeah.
So they introduced like this character, and everybody's like, "Holy shit, fucking Boba Fett, man!"
Speaking of Boba Fett, this reminds me of the Mandalorian.
Yes.
I don't want to spoil anything because it just came out,
Yeah.
but I watched the first episode last night.
I did too. Like again, like I said,
Yeah.
like we were she wanted to look through and watch some stuff, and I'm like, Mandalorian.
Boom.
Didn't she's like, oh. I was like, there's another TV back there if you want to log in and fucking watch it. 'Cause that's how I'm gonna
Ice
be.
cold.
I got Disney Plus so I could fucking watch The Mandalorian and all the Marvel stuff coming out later.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of glad they didn't throw that out there too.
That should just be too much. Just be
Yeah.
too much to throw
What
in
they're-
first on the release.
So The Mandalorian's gonna be 8 episodes long. We had 1 episode at launch, and we're getting another one this coming Friday.
Friday, yeah.
So if you're listening to this, that's tomorrow. If you're watching this, that's Friday. Technically, if you're listening, it's still Friday.
It's Friday.
It's Friday, regardless. Friday,
yeah.
November 15th.
My boy's got a cameo in it. I was excited.
Brian Posehn?
Yeah. As soon as I heard the voice before I knew it
Oh,
was him.
I don't even think I heard the voice. I didn't even hear his voice. I just looked at him like, that looks like Brian Posehn.
I love Brian Posehn.
Same.
That dude is a giant nerd too, and
He
I'm like,
is.
dude, like I don't know this guy.
He's
at
a
all.
giant nerd and a giant metalhead.
Yeah. Like I when I saw him on there, I'm like, I don't know this dude at all, but I'm like, I was like, yeah, good job, it's like my brother, like a brother doing something cool. It's like, yeah, that's my dude.
Fuck yeah.
He's a huge Star Wars guy, and I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
and my other dude's in it,
Who's that?
Carl Weathers.
Oh, yeah, Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
Mr. Apollo Creed himself.
Yeah.
Dylan, you son of a
You
bitch.
son of a bitch.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed this first episode.
I did too. I
I
won't spoil anything.
I don't want to spoil anything either. Really, I mean, we can give our spoil free right now. Warn people, hey, we're going into spoiler territory. But I don't want to dive super far into it because I journey into comics. I know Tyler is gonna really want to talk about this. Nate's gonna really want to talk about this.
Right.
So
we don't want to step on there.
next Monday on Journey into Comics, I'm sure you're gonna get a full deep dive into probably both new episodes of The Mandalorian. So
And all the racist crows from Dumbo.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not gonna lie.
You don't?
It's been so long since I've seen Dumbo.
Oh my god,
The OG Dumbo. The
the
cartoon
original.
Dumbo.
There's a scene where they're talking about Dumbo flying, and it pans to these crows, and they're all wearing like stereotypical, like one's got like a big hat and a suit,
Mhm.
and they go, "I ain't never seen no elephant fly." Just like, oh my god. As a kid, I'm like, oh.
So
those
the
crows-
rows themselves aren't racist, but the animators are.
Yeah,
for-
it's like casually racist crows.
yeah.
Because as a kid, I remember, I love these crows, and as soon as I got older, I'm
Episode
like,
title.
oh man. What's that?
Episode title: Casually Racist Crows.
But as I got older, I started realizing, like, oh my god. Because, like, I'll talk about it. I have Disney Plus. I give them money. Walt Disney was a piece of shit.
Yep.
He's a Nazi sympathizer.
Was he?
Yeah. Well, I think I looked at it last night because I've heard that before. He's not necessarily, but he did like invite Nazis to viewings of like Disney stuff.
Did he know it? Like,
Yes. And he was very anti-Semitic. That's
okay.
pretty well known. So was he a Nazi sympathizer? Maybe, maybe not. But still kind of a piece of shit in my eyes.
I don't know the guy personally,
Yeah, well, he's been dead for a long time.
or has he?
It's true. I've also
Or
heard
was
that
he fucking frozen?
I also heard his head's been frozen.
So, The Mandalorian, it kicks off, you know, and it does your typical fucking cantina scene.
Yep.
And it starts off like your generic cantina scene. There's some, like, especially once he walks in, and he just walks up to the bar, and all of a sudden, like, the fucking douchebags that are already causing a ruckus, they're like, "You spilled my drink,"
Already causing a scene.
and they're already talking shit, causing shit, and he's just playing it cool, and the bartender's like, Here, I don't want I don't want any trouble. Here's a drink on the house,"
Yeah.
and slides it over. Mandalorian uses the fucking
Bash the dude.
bash the dude in, and takes both guys out. Cuts a fucking dude in half.
Yeah.
The Corin, squid dude. He reels him in from. He already gets outside. And he reels him back in, and before he gets here, the fucking door closes on him. And
Yeah.
halves
Dude
him.
got halved.
He. Dewey, I've been
I've
halved.
been halved.
You aren't even half the man that half of your brother was.
Dewey,
I'm not even a quarter of the.
Dewey, I've been halved real bad. I fucking love that movie.
Dewey Cox is the best movie.
Oh.
It's John C. Reilly's fucking masterpiece.
Oh, you learned to play guitar with this sense of smell. Okay, Mom, I learned how to play by ear. I can quote that whole movie.
And you never paid for drugs.
Not
once. Fuck cats.
Fuck ancient Egypt. Fuck nobility.
You had sex with me too, and I've been confused for
For
years.
years.
All right, back to the Mandalorian.
Sorry.
Back to the.
I can talk about that movie all day.
Me too. Me too.
Dewey, I've been halved.
Oh my god, that's a movie we need to like sit and watch.
I'll watch
and,
that.
and then review.
Uh-huh.
Oh my
Let's
god,
do that.
Like do it like we did with Black Dynamite.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm in. Let's get Tyler in on it. Let's do it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Tyler, if you're listening, I know you're not watching because I don't see you here. We gotta watch Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
Dewey Cox. Walk hard.
Down lives.
Rusty road.
Rocky roads.
Rocky roads. Like the ice cream. Sorry.
You take the children, you take everything, but you leave me my monkey.
So I said, no, you're not going to give me this giraffe.
God, I love John C.
Mandalorian.
Reilly.
Sorry.
Yeah,
we get distracted.
Mandalorian. Yeah, so he halves the dude, and then the guy that they're harassing, you know, He has already offered to pay them off, but like he's just like, oh my god, thank you so much. What assholes.
Yeah.
I don't know who that guy was. That guy was supposed to be somebody like cameo wise.
Really?
Yeah, I mean you can just tell.
He sounded familiar, but I didn't.
But it was
know.
weird, like the way he was talking, like and the way it was filmed. I was like, this doesn't feel like Star Wars.
Yeah.
And like people don't talk like this in Star Wars at all. Like they don't like the cadence and all that. It's just not Star Warsy. It just didn't feel like it. And then he's sitting there like, oh man, you're a fucking lifesaver. Those guys were assholes and all that. And then out of nowhere, like fucking throws a puck on the ground on the table, and he's like, "Is that you?" He's like,
I called that too.
Yeah,
same. I mean, sitting in my basement by myself, so it's not really like call it.
Yeah.
Call it.
But it's funny that like he walks in and he's acting all casual, like he's just there, and then he saves this guy, or these guys start harassing him, and basically essentially saves. And it's like, by the way, I'm actually here for you. I wasn't just walking in here for a drink. That's cool touch. I mean, but it's also like a generic opener.
Yeah.
Or generic scene, but it set the scene.
It's setting stuff up.
It set the stuff up.
I didn't realize the droid, the
IG-11.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that was Taika Waititi.
It is.
I didn't know that.
It is
until. I love that dude.
Yeah, I love Taika Waititi. He's directing at least one episode of this.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't think we're done with him.
Don't think so.
I don't think we are. So we're getting into spoilers, folks. So if you don't want to hear this part, maybe fast forward a little bit. I don't know. But so spoilers. All right.
We're gonna talk about it.
We're gonna talk about it. So at the end, I'm not gonna talk. We're not gonna go full spoilers because I want to save some stuff for JIC.
Okay.
So end of the episode, Mandalorian kills IG-11, shoots him and all that. After they just got done killing a bunch of people together.
Whole lot of people.
I
like that scene where he's like, self-destruct? No, do
yeah,
not self-destruct.
He just keeps going like, yep, it's time to self-destruct. No, dude, no. And that entire scene, like, that's the most you hear Pedro Pascal talk.
Yeah.
We still don't have a name for him either. He's just the Mandalorian. And I wonder if we're even going to get a name.
Kind of like the Clint Eastwood Man Without a Name. Yep. I kind of like that.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about this show is it feels like an old Western.
Yeah.
In Star Wars.
Just like the way, like how he's dressed. I mean, Mandalorian's interesting anyways, but like just how he's dressed and how he moves.
Yeah.
It reminds me of an old spaghetti Western.
Yeah. So he kills IG-11. Well, he's not the only IG unit.
That's
so
true.
I wonder if we're going to come across more IG units, all voiced by Taika Waititi, which would be fantastic. I would love that. Just, IG-11. Oh, there's IG-12, 13, 14, 15.
I thought that scene was really cool.
Because IG-88's an Empire.
Yeah.
That's fucking IG-88. And we just came across IG-11.
11.
I like how IG-11 just walked up to the fucking place. It's like,
I'm here to arrest you.
I'm here to fuck shit up. He did. Pow, 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 pow. I like because he's got like multiple, I guess, sensors, visions, eyes.
Yeah.
Throughout his head and constantly rotating.
It's rotating around. And...
Yeah. Meanwhile, his entire body can rotate as well. We didn't get to see that in Empire.
It's true.
We didn't get to see anything with him in Empire. He's just one of the fucking bounty hunters.
Yep. He's like in the back.
Yeah. I definitely like it. This episode. This first episode was a lot of atmosphere building.
Yeah.
Like it's setting the scene, the tone, everything for the rest of the series. It was really cool. It's really cool. I mean, you get that whole, he's going into the Mandalorian enclave, and at that point, you kind of realize, oh shit, he's not like top dog, because he's piecing the shit together. He takes that like little Beskar plate that he got as payment.
Yeah.
And he throws it to what is probably like some kind of matriarch for the whole enclave, and and she basically forges all the armor and weapons probably.
Yeah.
And she melts that down and she just gets him a pauldron, and that's all it is. It's like, yep,
Yeah.
one more, because and at that moment you kind of realize all of his armor is basically pieced together. It's not like one complete set, and it's like, oh, that's actually pretty. And I don't know why I didn't notice that before, but it's like, oh, he's basically trying to better his armor. He's trying to move up.
Right. It's like a social status is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, probably.
Yeah.
So he's trying to move up in social status. He's trying to improve his armor, because I guarantee that shit he was wearing wasn't nearly as deflective as Beskar plating, whatever that is.
Yeah.
I think Beskar is like specifically Mandalorian like steel.
I think so.
It's I need to dive back into like the Mandalorian lore and all that. So I'm wondering how much more complete his armor is gonna be by the end of this 8 episodes. It's exciting. It's super exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So you see that, you see some flashbacks of basically his childhood. There's that. Apparently, someone scoped it out while he's walking in the dark, like one of those dark hallways in the Enclave. Boba Fett's in there.
Really?
Which is weird because this is set after Jedi. I don't know how long after Jedi. Clearly, the Empire is dissolving, or has been dissolved. So, Boba Fett in Jedi, he got eaten.
Yeah. He got
eated by the Sarlacc pit.
He got eaten.
So what's he doing there? Who knows?
Yeah.
Unless that was photoshopped, who knows?
Could be.
So we see that whole Enclave scene where he gets his little pauldron, and then he goes on his assignment. He goes on his next assignment. And we're not gonna get into that. We got a cool cameo from Nick Nolte.
Wait.
Yeah, the little dude on the planet.
Oh shit!
That's Nick fucking Nolte.
Shit! Why did I not know that?
I didn't realize it till credits started rolling. I'm like, Nick, guest starring Nick Nolte. What?
I didn't even know that was Nick Nolte. Damn.
And he's the only person I can think of that would be remotely like Nick Nolte. And I'm like, of course, it is him.
I have spoken.
Yeah, I have spoken.
Mainly because I know he didn't go, oh hell. That's my Nick Nolte. Oh hell.
Yeah. So I'm very excited to keep this series going, especially with like the giant bombshell they dropped at the end of the episode.
Yes.
Like, it's huge. It's huge. The implication it has. I'm not gonna get into it. You and I might get into it outside of this.
Outside.
Recording. But the implication it has just on the universe itself, on the galaxy itself. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's fucking huge. It's like, damn. I like how the beginning, there's 2 parts of this episode. The beginning where he's like this quiet, total badass, like nobody can fuck with him. And then once he goes on this assignment, you start seeing like the more vulnerable.
Yeah.
Not in like the vulnerable.
Not necessarily whiny, but like he's
I have
having
a hole in my shirt.
Uh-oh.
It's right in Ultimate Warrior's forehead. What the fuck? Anyway. I just noticed that and I'm like,
Too swole.
Too swole.
Too swole for the warrior.
Probably. This is an old shirt. This shirt's like 5 years old at this point.
Hogan.
So, but no, you start seeing that vulnerable side, that side where he's not perfect, where he's not a total. He's still a badass, but he's like, he's fallible.
Yeah, when he was having troubles riding that.
Yeah, he can't ride that fucking thing. It looks stupid as shit.
Blurg.
I want to say Blurg. He can't ride that, and those things are stupid as shit. Like, what the fuck? Not to mention, he's like scoping the place out, and like he gets bit. Like one gets the jump on him.
Yeah.
Like while he's scoping others of him. Yeah.
Basically.
So you see, he's not perfect, and then he tries to learn how to ride, and it's kind of like comic foil to the whole thing. And then you hear him talking more. So like now you're getting to know him. He's not this he's still pretty mysterious, but like you're hearing him talk, you're connecting with him, and especially during the whole IG-11 thing.
Yeah.
Don't self-destruct. When he goes into the self-destruct sequence, that little fucking red sphere thing pops out.
Yeah.
Like, I almost wonder if that's like a thermal detonator.
I think it looks roughly thermal detonator shape.
Yeah, so I kept like expecting him to like say, "All right, you're not gonna self-destruct." Yoink, take it and throw it.
Throw it.
At probably something specific that would further the plot.
But he didn't self-destruct.
No, he didn't.
Did not.
And he didn't get that thermal detonator taken out. Yeah, dude, I am very excited to keep this
Me
going.
too. I'm excited.
I'm very excited for Friday. I want to see what happens next. I definitely want to see what happens next
Yeah.
after that fucking bombshell at the end.
Which will not
'Cause
spoil.
We won't spoil. Let's just say he's not getting his reward.
Yep. Here's something fun.
Huh?
So,
Yeah.
You like fun?
I like fun.
Is that fun?
Let's hear fun.
So, it's Star Wars related.
Oh,
Back in the day, Brian Martin ran a Star Wars role-playing game. Kind of like D&D-ish. But there's a whole bunch of us in there. And I played Wookiee.
Oh.
Yeah. It was fun because my Wookiee, we had this running joke because they found me as a prisoner. And all I had, I didn't have my bowcaster.
Who did you end up owing a life debt to?
I think it was Carlos's character that I had a life debt to. But I ripped someone's arms off.
Nice.
Because it's Wookiee.
It's a Wookiee. He's gonna do that.
But when we were escaping, all I had was this like metal pipe that I found.
Mhm.
And there was this running joke that I spray painted it green. It was my Wookiee lightsaber.
Nice.
What is that Wookiee doing? Just holding this pipe that's
Nice.
green.
I can't remember if in I mean it's not canon anymore, but like in the expanded universe, if there are any Wookiee Jedi.
I don't think there are.
I feel like there have been, and they had like these massive lightsabers because they're massive.
I've always loved Wookiees. Wookiees
Yeah.
are dudes.
I honestly can't remember if they existed or
There
not.
might have been.
There, yeah, had to have been.
Yeah.
Just had to have been.
You know what?
What?
I'll type in Wookiee Jedi.
I'm sure you'll find at least some fan art. I used to write Star Wars fan fiction.
Really?
Yeah.
Nerd.
Brief period of my high school life.
Really?
Yeah. I actually went back and like read a lot of it, and like my writing's terrible, but the story itself was actually pretty good. I mean, given it's my own writing, but like here I am, probably 11, 12 years later, and I'm reading this shit, and I'm like, there's something here. Nice.
Boom. Wookiee
Nice.
Jedi.
There's a picture on Google Images. It has to be real.
I can't pronounce the name. Tyvolka.
Mm.
It looks like it's one of the cartoons.
Yeah, I don't know.
I love me some Wookiees.
Me too. So after I got done watching The Mandalorian, which, by the way, did you watch the credits with all the art?
No, I
You
didn't.
just turned it off? No, okay, so it's basically like the art was basically like a recap of the whole episode.
Okay.
Just in like art. The art was
Damn it,
awesome.
I should have watched that.
It was really cool. And on
I
top
thought
of that,
about rewatching it again because
I kind of wanted to do that today after work, but didn't happen.
too busy watching Aristocats.
I think they were watching Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, I want to watch Aristocats.
So there are so many shows on Disney Plus.
Dude, what's crazy is all 30 seasons of The Simpsons are on there.
Holy shit.
30 seasons.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. No, so all I watched last night was The Mandalorian. I immediately went to this expanding the universe for Marvel. So it's basically like the Comic-Con footage that from the Comic-Con panel. I think it was San Diego Comic-Con or one of them. San Diego. And so it was talking about like all the shows that are coming up for Disney Plus. And that was really neat because I got to see some stuff from WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Hawkeye and Loki.
I thought Hawkeye was scrapped.
Hawkeye's Is it scrapped?
I thought so. 'cause
I don't
me
know.
and my-
They left it in there.
Oh, maybe not then.
They
me,
left it in there.
me and my buddy at work, because we're talking about it. My buddy Aaron was like, I think they scrapped that because like Jeremy Renner like touched a kid or something.
Oh no!
We looked it up. He didn't, but
No, I guess he's been now accused by one of his exes as being abusive, I guess. And he's like,
we read the
"No."
thing. He bit his child.
He's like, no, I didn't do that. I'm not even gonna dignify this with some real response. Which at this point, like some people just there's no point. Like
Yeah.
your career is either gonna be ruined or it's not. Which for the most part, it's ruined a lot of careers. No, so the Hawkeye thing looks neat. Loki looks really good. I mean, not that we saw anything for it, but like they explained like, okay, so he escapes in Endgame during the 2012 New York incident
Yeah.
in the new timeline. So what happened after that? Where'd he go? And it's like kind of like a fugitive type show, like where he's on the run.
Oh, okay. That'd be kind of cool.
Nate Phillips says, primed as fuck. Well,
Hi, Nate. I love you.
if you want to hear our actual voices, head on over to YouTube or Twitch.
Hi, Nate. I love you.
Blessing this one, my dudes. It's been a while since you blessed
Yeah.
a good old podcast, Shafi. We appreciate it. We thank you.
I need a Podfather blessing in my life.
Getting random phone calls from numbers I don't know. Jeez.
It's porn.
I hope not. It's a Lafayette number.
Lafayette porn.
But let's see. So I watched that. Marvel What If looks really cool. Like the one, like, because Marvel What If is like a bunch of these like what if scenarios. Like, you know, as nerds, we always talk about, and I think that's something that they didn't even mention. Is like the whole premise of this is like, so all these nerds, us, are always like, yeah, what if, you know, like Wolverine fought so and so, or what if this person got these powers instead of this person? And it's like, yeah. So the first thing they showcase is, what if Peggy Carter took the the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers,
What?
and she became Captain Carter? And then
Carter.
and it's fully animated and all that.
Really?
The actors come in, do the voices.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so it showed a bunch
Is it
of clips.
out or is it just?
No,
just
it's not out
okay.
yet. Which I'm really glad that they haven't released any of that stuff yet. I'm glad that we only have the Mandalorian.
They don't want. I get it because they don't want to overload.
No, like I'm really glad we only have the Mandalorian right now. I want to focus on that for however long I need to, and then move on to other things. But no, they showed clips of like her and like her, like instead of America, she's fighting for Britain. So she's her costumes, her outfits, suit,
Captain
whatever.
Britain.
It's kind of British influenced.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Steve Rogers is still in it,
Oh.
and he basically makes like an Iron Man suit because he's still tiny, Steve Rogers. He makes like an Iron Man suit, much like the one Tony made in the cave,
Okay.
except it's probably more fully functional. Probably had Howard Stark help him out with it,
right.
and he basically fights alongside her.
Huh,
It's
kinda
really
cool.
neat. It's super neat. Nate Phillips, D-List episode 2 drops tomorrow. Stoked. By tomorrow, I mean Friday. You time traveling fucks.
I was gonna say tomorrow. Shit.
So yeah, if you're listening, it drops tomorrow. Yeah. So that show looks really interesting. Of course, Falcon and Winter Soldier looks really interesting, which they're bringing a bunch of people back, like Emily Van Camp, who is another Agent Carter. It's I can't remember if Emily Van Camp's character was Peggy Carter's niece or granddaughter. It's one of the two. I can't remember. It's been a very long time since I watched Winter Soldier, which is on Disney Plus, and I can't.
Most of them are.
And I can't wait to watch it.
I was watching some New Hope before I left the house to come here.
Yeah. Man,
Watching it on my phone because I was too lazy to go downstairs.
I'm trying to hold off. I'm trying to hold off on. Nate says Pixar in real life is cool as well. I'll have to check that out. So I watched Expanding the Universe, and I watched Assembling Marvel or something. It was excellent. It was like 42 minutes long. The Expanding the Universe was only 12 minutes long. 92 X-Men. What is that?
Oh, like the cartoon? Damn right.
Yeah. Oh yes. That's on there. 94 Spider-Man. What is it? The really shitty Spider-Man was on there too. The one that came after 94 Spider-Man.
95 Spider-Man.
That says 90. He said 94.
No, I was just saying.
Oh,
shitty
yeah.
one's-
You
Look
funny.
at me.
I think it's Spider-Man Unlimited. It was terrible.
Well,
Yeah, it's in there with all the fucking furries.
you're missing the best ones that are out there. Gummy bears, DuckTales,
Yeah,
Tailspin,
Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck,
I have yet to see it,
Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
but and this is something I loathe. I have yet to see it, but somewhere out there on Disney Plus, more than likely, there is the Disney version of Doug.
There's a Disney Doug?
Yeah, Disney Doug.
I didn't know there was a Disney.
After a certain point, Disney bought the rights to Doug and started putting it on Disney instead of Nickelodeon, and it sucked.
Really?
It was terrible. Garbage. It wasn't even that. It wasn't even that. They changed the intro
What?
because they fucking suck.
Fuck it, I'm done.
If they had like regular Doug on there, I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, let's watch this."
Watch some Doug.
Like, I would love a
Quail Man.
Nickelodeon. Yeah, fucking Quail Man. But no, the documentary. It was basically about the 42-minute documentary. It was about like how they brought together this universe and how they started the whole. Oh, we're bringing in Iron Man. Oh, we got Hulk coming in. No, okay, now it's just piecing it all together, and it's just so neat. A lot of neat stuff, neat background information. A lot of.
I'll check that out.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to so like AW's tonight. The
Yes.
wrestling.
Yep.
I love wrestling.
AE-dub.
My thing tonight was like, you know what? I'll skip this week and I'll like hang out and watch some Disney. And as I was leaving the house, people know here I live with my grandparents.
Mhm.
I help them out. I've been watching because like the TV, I don't have direct TV or anything in the basement. I just use streaming stuff.
Yeah.
But grandma and grandpa have direct TV and stuff. So on Wednesdays I've been watching wrestling. I've been watching it in the front room because my grandpa gets back from playing cards at 8:00, and he'll watch wrestling with me. And I really didn't. I just kind of thought he was just like, watching it because it was there. But as I get ready to leave the house, it's like, big boy, we watching the wrestling tonight?
Nice.
So now I gotta watch wrestling with grandpa.
Very nice.
And what's funny is he remembers some of the names.
Mhm.
He's like, that's old Moxley, right? I'm like, God damn, grandpa, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Unscripted
AE-dub's
violence.
killing it.
Oh yeah,
They're
Hell yeah.
killing it. How did Full Gear do?
So I didn't get to watch all of Full Gear yet.
Okay.
I've been real behind. But what I watched,
have you seen anything about the ratings or anything like that? Like,
I think it did really well. There was some stuff in there that like I didn't finish the main event match yet, but there was so like they did a platform onto the ring, like a walkway, and during the main event, which was Chris Jericho and Cody Rhodes gets thrown out into the ramp and like cracks his above his eye had like 8 stitches, and then actually separated like the cartilage from his like ribs when he landed.
holy shit.
Yeah, like it was rough. I didn't see the end of that one yet. I'm gonna before I watch AE-dub tonight, I'm gonna finish that, and then there's another match after that, which is a unsanctioned lights out match, which means it doesn't count for any scores. It's lights out, which means hardcore.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's John Moxley versus Kenny Omega. And
Okay.
I saw some clips from it. And I'm like, oh dear God, I need to watch this.
Very nice. Very nice. I recently started listening to Chris Jericho's podcast.
I listened to a few of them.
Talk is Jericho.
Talk is Jericho.
Guess who he had on last week?
Stone Cold.
Donald Trump Jr.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That's weird.
Yeah. He the whole time when he's introducing like the episode, because he records it and then he does like a introductory recording.
Yeah, yeah.
Along with all the advertisements and shit, much like Joe Rogan. He's like, I had so and so on the episode. I can't remember who, but and like, oh, I got a lot of backlash for it. I got backlash. I got a lot of heat for that, and but like I guess he has a degree in journalism.
I think
or something like that. And he's like, so when I have guests like that on there, like I'm speaking strictly from like a journalistic standpoint. Like it doesn't matter who. I'm gonna have anybody on here that I find interesting. And it's not that I support them. It's not that I'm against them. It's just I just want to talk to them. So he's like, I'm assuming I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this episode. I'm assuming I'm gonna random. I got distracted by a message. Sorry, but he's like, I'm assuming I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, a lot of backlash. This is very polarizing. Going to be a very polarizing episode from a very polarizing person. And he talked about, and it was Donnie Jr.
Huh.
Chodas Jr. I like saying Chodas. It's like because it either means the Cheeto of the United States or the Chode of the United States, and it sounds like Chode.
It does.
Which Donald J. Trump is a Chode. So
I've only listened to a couple of Jericho ones. I listened to one. It was right after it's John Moxley now, but right after Dean Ambrose quit WWE and went there, and it was him basically kind of talking shit about Vince. Like he kind of like opened, like I always knew Vince was kind of a shithole.
We all knew that.
Some of the stuff that like he talked about, just like, ugh.
Yikes. Yeah, it was an interesting episode, and I kind of, not that like I really give a shit about what Donald Trump Jr. has to say, but it's one of those things where like I listen to it in the type of like know your enemy type of way. Like I want to hear what he has to say, because I've never even heard Donald Trump Jr. talk. Like I've never heard what he's had to say or anything like that. Which he just came out with a book called Triggered, I guess.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's like whatever. It probably wasn't even written by him. Ghostwriters.
It's written by Ghostwriter.
Ghostwriter.
Oh, not Ghostwriter.
Not Ghostwriter. Oh shit! Nick Maxon accidentally clicked on this.
Hi, Nick.
Hi, Nick. And then, so like he taught. I mean, you could tell certain things like he was spinning, and certain things he was actually being real about. Like he was talking about his life growing up and whatnot, and he was talking about how like you don't see too many billionaire sons like in the fucking Caterpillars, like working alongside the men. You know that, like I learned that at an early age. Like you got to be boots on the ground. Like, I wonder how much of that's true, but at the same time,
really true.
I don't know. Like I don't know. I'm not gonna go against that. Whatever. If he did, awesome, good on him. But yeah, I gotta say this: he is a much better speaker than his dad.
That's not too hard, though.
It's not. I can definitely stand to listen to him talk for a lot more than his dad, because he's not sitting there gloating about himself the whole time. He's actually just talking.
Right.
And so good on him for that, at least. You know, at the same time, he was kind of bashing like the. Not once did he say fake news. Good for him.
All right, good. Yeah.
But he says he's in it. Nick says he's in it.
What up, Nick?
Yeah, it was an interesting episode. Not that it changed my mind on anything, but again, I listened to it in like sort of like a know your enemy fashion.
That's cool though that Jericho's doing more than just wrestling. Stuff. He's getting everything.
Yeah, I mean, knowing him, he's probably got rock stars and shit on there because he's got Fozzy. Oh man, Brandon Stone was listening to the new Ozzy track last week at lunch on his phone, and I'm like, "What is that? The new Fozzy new Fozzy song?" Because Chris Jericho sounds a lot like Ozzy.
A little bit, yeah.
Like when he's singing.
I'll be honest. I don't listen to a ton of Fozzy. It's not really my bag.
No,
but
it's not.
I like Jericho. I like what Jericho does.
Dude.
He's doing a good job being the champion in
Le
AEW.
Champion. No, Fozzy's interesting. Like, there's a few songs that I like and enjoy.
I just know like the one that got big this year.
I don't know about this year.
Judas, I think is.
Yeah. I think I know that one. That CD is actually not terrible compared to the last one that had the last album they came out with like a couple years back. It was the one with that had M Shadows on it, called Sandpaper. That was the single.
Okay.
Man, that song sucks. That song sucks so bad. But I happened to see it live at Rockstar Uproar.
Okay.
That was fuck. Okay, so that was 7 years ago.
Damn.
But no, if you get the chance, go see Fozzy live.
I mean, it's fun.
I mean, it's Chris Jericho. I mean, he's a wrestler, so he's automatically got that fucking charisma. He can win a crowd over
Yeah,
easily.
he's the GOAT.
Yeah, exactly. So put him in a rock star situation where he's controlling a crowd with music.
Yeah. Also, he looks like
A1.
Vince Neil.
Yeah.
he's,
Now he does. Yeah.
he's getting that serious dad bod.
He is. When I saw him, he still had the short hair.
Oh, okay.
So he's growing that shit out.
Yeah, he looks even more like Vince Neil now. He's got
Yeah.
rocking the dad bod. He's got
had
the long hair.
He had the short hair and less tattoos.
Yeah.
But man, he was a massive fucking dude.
He's a big dude.
He
He's
was
still
not.
a
He
big
did
dude.
not have the dad bod then.
Right.
No, like that's a recent development, I think.
He's doing a good job on AEW right now because he's the first champion, the heavyweight champion of AEW, and he's very healing it up. Like, it's just so great about Jericho is
He's always been great. At
everyone
being a heel.
loves him, but he's doing such a good job being a heel. That
He's always been heel,
all right,
hasn't he?
Not
I don't think
always.
Really. When
don't
has he
think
not
so.
been heel?
I think he was over when he was younger, so he was kind of a face, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
But
And Nick says, yes, Nick, if you're on Facebook, which you are, the audio is really low. He says Jericho is not the GOAT.
oh shit, he's pretty close to being.
He's pretty much the GOAT of like winning the crowd over. Like even being a heel, the crowd fucking loves him. I've always loved him. Even as a kid, I loved Chris Jericho.
As a kid, I didn't.
Oh, I
But,
loved him.
but
as a kid.
I believe wrestling was real as a kid.
Me too.
If you ask like child Dave, it was Hulk Hogan. When I grew up,
Oh,
I
yeah.
realized he was a piece of shit.
I loved Hogan. I loved Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior, and then moving on to the Attitude Era, I loved The Rock, Triple H. I didn't like Triple H so much because he was definitely a heel.
Yeah,
But
Triple
Stone
H was
Cold,
a lot of stuff.
Stone Cold, Eddie Guerrero,
Stone Cold. Dude, Eddie was one of the best too.
and today's the day, man. 13 years.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
14 years ago today.
14 years.
2005, November 12th, 2005. I remember it was a Monday. It was a Monday.
Yeah.
That was my freshman year of high school, and I think I was blacked out for that. Oh, did you all forget about the motherfucking Rock?
The Rock's great. He's great on the mic, man.
He's great on the mic. You know, I would say he's up there equal to Jericho because he's from that. They're both from the Attitude Era.
Yeah, Jericho was a little before that.
Yeah,
but
because he's
still.
WCW. Yeah.
I remember him as Lionheart.
Yeah.
He was the Lionheart.
I've always known him as Y2J.
Put people on the Lion Tamer, which is now the Walls.
Yeah, the Walls of Jericho. Yeah, I remember like for like 3 to 4 months before he made his actual debut, they had on the fucking Jumbotron
The countdown.
the fucking countdown, like the
Yeah.
fucking weird ass fucking music playing.
You mean break the walls down?
Yeah, and then out of nowhere it finally debuts, and it's like, whoa, what is this? Of course, like I was too young to realize who he was in WCW.
Right.
I watched WCW, but
I was a WCW kid until WCW was bought out. Then I switched
Yeah.
to WWF.
was it still F when they switched over?
Yeah.
When they brought everybody over? Okay.
And then, do you remember? You remember Val Venus?
Yes. Remember Al Snow?
Al Snow, dude. Al Snow is awesome.
Yeah.
Al Snow has a bunch of like really prestigious wrestling
Yes.
schools.
Yes, he does. I remember. Do you remember that whole feud he had with Big Boss Man?
Yep.
And he ate his own
Ate
chihuahua.
his own dog, Pepper.
Yeah.
Hey, Pepper.
God.
I was watching
that whole era was so funny.
I was watching I had the WWE Network for a while when it first came out, and there was a countdown show, which is really cool. It was like top 10, blah blah blah.
Yeah, moments.
This was top 10 worst matches, and that match, the dog kennel match. Did you know what? Like, is that promo they did, that build up where he ate his dog? He challenged Bug Boss Man to a like kennel match, and it was a cage match surrounded by a Hell in a Cell with rabid Rottweilers on the outside of it. And the Rottweilers were just like dogs they picked up from like a shelter and stuff, and they were super sweet. Like they were trying to make them look all scary, and then,
Nice.
like one like pees on the cage.
Nice. Man. Good old days. Good old fucking attitude era.
Remember Al Snow hitting, I forget who he hit, with a golf cart when they did the 24-hour hardcore belt. Remember that?
Remember that, yeah.
That comes with a golf cart.
Do you remember when Big Show was having like the funeral for his father?
Yeah.
And Big Boss Man fucking comes through and just rips out the headstone, or was it the headstone or the casket?
It was a casket.
And
He puts the casket in.
just takes off with it. And Big Show's like, ah, just chasing after him.
Do you remember when Hulk Hogan killed the Giant? Killed
Yep.
Big Show?
Yep.
Where they had that monster truck bout on top of a building, and then he falls off the building.
Yep.
Some weird stuff.
God, do you remember when the Ultimate Warrior came back to WCW and it was like the worst build up ever?
Yeah. Remember the
so
fake
bad.
the fake Warrior? There's a fake Ultimate Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so bad. Remember fake Diesel and Razor Ramon?
No.
It was like they look like had him like, you know, Kevin Nash and Razor Ramon, but you could, when they zoomed in, you could tell it wasn't them. It's because when they jump shipped into WWF.
Yeah. Oh shit. All right, let's go ahead and end this.
We end it.
Let's end this.
I got my wrestling.
You
tirade.
got your razzling.
My wrestling tirade. Sorry.
Yep. No, it's all good. I don't ever get to talk about wrestling because I typically don't give a shit about it. But
I got into it back like a couple years ago, then kind of got lost interest a little bit, and then AEW came out. And
yeah,
it's
that's
just so much
kind of
better
what
wrestling.
sparked it for me again, and I haven't even watched it. I haven't even watched it yet, but I'm
You should.
excited. I'm excited because everybody else is excited for it.
Yeah.
And like everybody's telling me so many good things about it. So it's like
My favorite. I've always liked tag teams. The tag team matches in AEW are amazing.
yeah.
The Young Bucks are. It's like two little Bret Michaels.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that conversation was completely fine and wholesome.
Yeah.
Wholesome content.
And then the Lucha Bros. They're the best.
But yeah, no, let's go ahead and call it quits for the night. I want you to get to your fucking razzling. I need to get to my dinner, probably Taco Bell. Who knows?
I had some Taco Bell today.
Very nice. So if you're listening to this right now, check out tomorrow on the Podcastrophe feed. I'll have the next in my review series. I reviewed Killswitch Engage Atonement. And that's out tomorrow directly from the Podcastrophe feed.
Boom.
And you can get that on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. It's a quick thing. If you want to check it out, listen to what I have to say about Killswitch Engage's latest album, Atonement. It's there. Last week we did the Anchor. Next week I believe it's As I Lay Dying, Shaped by Fire. And then I'm gonna record some more. Hopefully I can find some time. But we thank you if you are a part of the Podcastrophe feed, getting that exclusive content because it means the world to me, Tyler, Dave, all of us.
And stay tuned for my review of Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill.
And keep an ear on this podcast because I think that intro is probably just gonna keep evolving. It's probably gonna keep evolving, getting better. It's gonna be fun, and this show is fun, and I love you, Dave.
I love you, Dick. This has been fun. Thank you for bringing me back.
I missed you so much.
I like being this temporary, not temporary.
Oh, I call
co-host.
you the unofficial co-host, but you're the co-host. You're a co-host.
Am I an unsanctioned co-host?
You are part of the Podcastrophe family.
Oh,
whether you like it or not, which I know you do. I know you love it.
I do.
But if that is all, that is all. Make every day a big dick day. Bye, guys.
Love you.
Oh, I stopped recording.
Oh, balls.
Nick, if you're still here, I love you.
I love you, Nick.
I'll be at the show this Saturday, I promise.
I will too. But, a minute.
Thank you guys for watching. Please tune in next Wednesday for another episode. of podcastrophe.
Do it.